ISU wins in an incredible spray down, incredible series.
Pistol whip, he's already planting. What is that? Oh, but the vertical position will be able to take one.
When I'm back on a climb, you're only with me in the back of my mind now. It's a cycle, it's a path I can't find. Sisyphus, grimace is the ride. Good shot. Vulnerable, maybe it's my fate and it's all my fault and I know.
Ooh, Kirito's also finding a kill. Kirito's finding a double kill. There's one man left. And Luigi's doing it. Luigi's doing it. They take them. They take the game. And my prediction's right. I want to say it again. Say it again for chat. Say it again for
Your
chat.
prediction was right, my bad.
Yeah.
And now this Menace is pushing down blue stairs, showing no signs of stopping. What a nectar pick! Oh my gosh! What the heck, Survey? How did he get away with that? 3 won't be able to take 1. Takes 2! Double kill. Now for a 1v1. The swing comes in, tries to go for a pre-fire, and the prone shot to take Pencil.
Stay away from the drop though, so I don't. They only love me when I'm back on the climb. You're only with me in the back of my mind now. It's a cycle, it's a path I can't find. Sisyphus, grimace is the ride.
And they are already
Always advanced, say how I fail, you know I stand. Raising the bar, I gotta expand. Top of the charts, I'm setting up camp. Pounding my stakes, I put on my tent. Shoot for the stars, they fall in my hand. Stick to my guns, I don't even flinch. Can push all you want, ain't moving an inch. I rarely miss, you know I'm relentless. Ain't got a choice, no way to prevent it. Just who I am, and I don't regret it. See what I want, and then I go get it. Follow my gut, I'm happy I did it. Beat all the odds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you missed us. It's your favorite duo, Fisher and Ace, back again for our second week here in Midwest R6, but it's not your second week watching Midwest R6. Hopefully you have joined us throughout the entirety of the season so far, and we've got another good one coming at you tonight. It's going to be UW-Madison versus Kentucky Blue. What are your thoughts quickly, Fisher? Just kind of on the outside looking in before we get started.
I mean, obviously, I'm sure we're going to get into this a little bit later, but when you look at this Division II, the midseason standings got put out a couple weeks ago. We saw a game, or a couple days ago, rather, not a couple weeks. We saw a game from Division II just last week, Kettering, Kansas. That one was so insanely close. And looking at the standings, which, like I said, we'll get into in just a few minutes, this should be another banger. These are two really good rosters, two competitive rosters. So I hope we have a game that's even better than last Thursday, but I'm not going to lie, I don't know if that's possible.
I'm not quite sure, but I mean, hey, anything is possible, and that one last week was a banger. If you missed it, make sure to go check that out wherever you can check that out at. I'm not quite sure where we've got it at. The YouTube. Yeah, make sure you go check that out on the YouTube. Make sure you go watch the TikToks, everything that got posted, if anything got posted about last week. But turning back on to this week here, let's check out the rosters for the first team. I believe it is, yes. Hold on, my face cam is blocking it. Yes, UW-Madison. It will be Milite, Kisser, Extra, I think is how he wants that said, Clab, and Intervent.
I was going to say, until we hear otherwise, we're going to go with Extra.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, very, very strong roster. 163 player average rank, so pretty much about what we saw last time between Kansas and Kettering. Obviously, want that a little bit higher. Everybody does. But we'll see, I'm sure, as we go more in depth too, we'll see some of the standouts from this roster. I believe Milite, kind of one of their big players that they hinge on for a lot of their success.
That is very true. One can only assume that he's primed to pop off. Speaking of a certain player to look at, let's look at the player over time for UW-Madison Red here. It will be Milite, who, you know what, you did really good with the analytics and whatnot, reading what we see here. So tell us a little bit about what you see Milite specifically here on this new segment of the pre-show for the player over time.
Yeah, I think this is a really important segment. Obviously, seeing the growth over time is very important. And while there's not like a whole ton of improvement between the stats, it's consistent. And that's literally all you can ask for. Consistent play over time. You know exactly what play you're going to get from this player day in, day out, over and over. 20% survival, I think, can maybe be a little bit higher, especially when we're seeing nearly a kill per round and a positive KDR. So that being low is a little shocking to me, but this game can try to turn it around, maybe get up to a .22 to keep that increase going. Looks like about .01 is all we're seeing across these stats. So really, really consistent player. And if I'm Kentucky on the other side, you got to find some way to shut him down because otherwise it's going to be continue to be that good, positive player for the squad.
That is very true. When it comes to Milite, there's basically only one other direction for him to go as of right now, and that would be up. When it comes to UW-Madison, let's check out their quote for this week, what they had to say going into this match. It will be from Extra. First they ignored us, then they laughed at us, then they fight us, then we win. I like the amount of thens and theys, but that, in my personal opinion, that is a sick quote. Now, really quickly, let's go ahead and check out the opposite side of the coin, opposite end of the spectrum. We've got the rosters here for Kentucky Blues team. It's going to be Ku, Luhe, Quirks, Crypt, and Mommy. Well, some names here. It's Mad
Some
Dog.
elite usernames for sure. And the one thing that sticks out to me here, obviously, the player average rank for Wisconsin, it was a 163, but here at Kentucky, sitting 113, 50 spots higher. And if you look at the record, same record, 2-2. They only have 2 more rounds than Wisconsin-Madison, but something we were talking about in the pregame. Don't know if everybody saw it just earlier this week. I think mid-season standings got posted. If you didn't see those, make sure to check out either the Discord or the Twitter. But in this Division 2, there are 6 teams tied up at 2-2 with 8 rounds total separating all 6. Wow. This is an incredibly competitive division. So the fact that there's that much of a difference in the player rank is really, really surprising to me.
I mean, you said it best yourself. Everyone is so close here as we toward, the mid-season or a little over type mark. Yeah, I mean, everybody is so close. I mean, with the records, the differentials, I mean, even the players stand out to me. And speaking of a standout player, let's look at the player over time for Kentucky Blue. It will be Ku.
Yeah, and again, it's nominal improvement in most of the stats. I think SBR specifically, such a useful stat when you're kind of trying to determine how good a player is. And, over 50%, it's a good thing. It's useful more than half the time. I like seeing the KDR and the KPR increase. But of course, the number that should be jumping out to everyone certainly is, to me, the survival rate, a drastic drop from 0.56 all the way down to 0.27. But with the other stats being kind of so similar, tells me maybe moving into a new role, maybe getting more aggressive, one of the first ones into the building, because a 50% survival looks like a support role to me. 27%, definitely not the same. I'd be interested to see if Q's doing anything different this season, because across the rest of the board, it looks almost the same.
That is very true. It's not anyone that we've had our delighted had a delighted chance to feast our eyes upon yet. Either of these teams, I don't believe. But either way, let's take a quick look at what the U of Kentucky Blue team had to say going into this one. Let's check their quote out. Don't ban sins, says Crypt. I feel like that's a really funny quote, but in all honesty, sins could definitely be a operator to watch out for, knowing which map we are going on. But before we get a chance to take a look at the maps we're going to go on, let's take a look at the player head-to-head for UW-Madison versus Kentucky Blue. It will be Milite versus Ku. No surprise at all there.
Yeah, no, really. Obviously, the 2 players we went over in the overtime stats, Milite very, very similar. Ku pretty similar as well with that big dip in survival. But I think the thing that stands out to me is a league rank for both these players. Milite ranked 70 above where the team's at. Ku ranked almost, I think, nearly 60 above where his team's at. These are 2 players that really, really elevate the play of these rosters. They're going to be important, both with positive kill-death ratios as well. It means these players are, they're getting their kills. They're not dying. They are doing what they need to in game. Two pretty important players. Really interested to see how it shakes up going into map 1, because it's hard to just get a sense for the player's style from stats alone. So really interested to see if they're on similar roles, if they're on different, and we'll have to wait a few more minutes to see that. Just a few more things to go through, but definitely going to be entertaining.
That is very true. And when you speak of their league rank being, a little bit further apart, Milite being in the lead on that, let's take a look at the team comparison. Let's see how the teams of these 2 men kind of shape up. First thing that jumps out to me, obviously, is the league position. We talked about it pretty heavily a few minutes ago. A lot of teams are sitting at 2-2 within this division. But one thing that really hops out to me specifically, Fisher, is the rounds played. Last week, we didn't necessarily know what to expect besides the fact that Kansas, from last week's stream, was a little bit more of like a map 3 warrior type team. And they definitely showed it if you were there watching with us last week. But Fisher, when it comes to the rounds played and everything else you're seeing on the screen here, do you think that University of Wisconsin-Madison could be more of a round 3 warrior? I mean, I don't think they had as many rounds played though as Kansas did.
I think absolutely. I mean, we're in week 5 now. They've played 4 games. That's still an average of almost 30 rounds per map. That's either you're going to very end of OT on both maps and just happening to lose both, or you're seeing some extended sets. And like we said, with the round differential, they're only 7 under. Kentucky's 5 under. So not terribly surprising there. And like you talked about, the 6th and 7th league position, I think, can effectively be thrown out the window. Muskingum has a 36 round differential. Other than that, you're just one good map from moving up into second place. So this is going to be an extremely, extremely important game for both these rosters. You're either going to separate yourself into kind of the upper half or the lower half of that division after here tonight.
Yeah, you're not wrong when you say that it's very important. Like you were talking about previously, between 7th place and second place is only a few rounds of a differential. So if University of Madison, Wisconsin could step it up here and actually win this one in either 2 or 3 maps against Kentucky, they could very well at least be in second or third after this one. But in all honesty, it's going to come down to our lobby kill leaders. Will these guys have a chance to get going early, or will they not? But in all honesty, it is all, I believe this is University of Madison, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is all University of Madison, Wisconsin. That is, wow. We did not see that last week. Look at that. 107, 78, and 75.
Yeah, and stop me if you've seen the name before. Milite up there again has just been the player to highlight so far for this pre-show. Definitely going to be looking at them strong in game as well. And yeah, seeing those two at a similar position, obviously Milite, we talked about the rank above too, so have big expectations. But the rest of this roster, I love seeing them similar here. And considering they have about, what was it? I think 20, 25 less rounds than the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It's really impressive that they're still getting up in that. But to be noted, that is less than a kill per round, so not sure. Maybe Wisconsin's just not the biggest fragging team in the world. There are some teams that are just very, very heavy strat based. I think those guns on the side of Wisconsin-Madison might be in a little bit of trouble if we're basing it all off these pregame stats.
That is very true. We saw a lot of heavy pregame stats last week, kind of showing that Kettering and Kansas were a little bit closer. And when it came to map 1, Kettering blew that one out of the water. We're going to have to hope that that doesn't happen for either of these teams, because we are now getting into our map bans. Let's see where we're going. Let's see what the chances are of a map 1 blowout happening again. First ban off the board, Lair. Mad Ducks was talking mad stuff about how they weren't very good on it, and it makes a lot of sense to see that one go first. Nighthaven, and then Bank next, and then Border, and that leads us to our first map being Consulate. Clubhouse gets picked right after that. Cafe, thank the Lord, is picked right after that. Then we got Consulate, and then the decider will be what our map 1 was last week. That's going to be Skyscraper.
Yeah, Skyscraper is always a very, very interesting decider if it goes there. It's so technical. We talked about it at length a week ago. I'm sure we will too if we do go all 3 games tonight.
Yep.
And I love seeing these 2 maps back to back. Consulate and Clubhouse are about as different as you could get 2 maps. There's
Very
a giant one, there's a small one. One plays very heavy vertical, another one is a really horizontal map, I think, in Clubhouse, except for the basement. So I think there's great potential that we see this map 3 tonight, because you would expect at least one of these teams is going to be better at one of these styles of the map than the other one. These are 2 very, very difficult maps to dominate on both.
I mean, there is a very good chance. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get in on the action, you don't have to be a part of the production team. You don't have to be playing tonight. Go ahead and get those MWR6 bets in. I didn't necessarily catch what the
I think Kentucky's favored.
Yeah, that's what it was. Kentucky is favored just a little bit. But let's take another look at Milite here. How he is on Consulate, I believe, is what I'm looking at. Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. With this one, with this one being map specific, obviously, we've seen their stats a lot. The survival rate, KPR, KD is all about the same, but the SPR being higher just tells you this is one of Milité's better maps. I believe this was Wisconsin-Madison's map pick as well. I think Kentucky ended up locking in Clubhouse. So I'm expecting big things. I mean, the expectations have been set about as high as you could possibly go going into this match here.
That is very true. And right before we get the chance to hop in to map 1 being Consulate of this great UWM versus Kentucky Blue matchup, we've got everyone's favorite part of the week. I hope you have been waiting on it and ready for it. It is the presented by Ubisoft Midwest Top 5. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the other end.
They're all pushing me.
Hey, look, I got her moving in tandem, militant how I'm advancing, hold the baton, salary look like a ransom, she said it's making me handsome, showing me off, they said I've been getting cocky, this is my modesty anthem, hold the applause, slippers of ruby, I'm dancing, feel like I've been out in Kansas, Wizard of Oz, I'm bounce, bounce, they want my soul, I don't rent it out, posting a ticket for headliner shows, it's the only time I'm ever selling out, knocking me down in the second round, but under pressure, they never doubt, still gonna hit it right out of the
Bombs down, whiskey.
In your nice.
On the bacon.
Hey,
oh my god!
Yeah, but for now I'm just chilling. Hometown hero, but the beat so villain. Got it on lock and the key code hidden. Straight to the top, we don't need no ceiling. I got him moving in tandem, militant how I'm advancing. Hold the baton, salary look like a ransom. She said it's making me handsome, showing me off. They said I've been getting cocky. This is my modesty anthem. Hold the applause. Slippers of ruby, I'm dancing. Feel like I've been out in Kansas. Wizard of Oz.
Look at me, I'm on the TV. I make a hit, double back, then I repeat. Got your favorite rapper try to meet me. Phone
No, you don't even know what the fuck I just did to that kid, bro. All 3 of them.
I ain't giving no freebies. They'll say that I'm cocky, it's confidence, baby. I'm sorry, I make it look easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed that presented by Ubisoft Midwest Top 5 of the week. Some really good clips in there, Fisher. Now, before I let you speak about the clips, tell me what you're expecting out of these bands here on Map 1 Consulate.
I mean, honestly, I think it should be pretty standard. The one thing we haven't talked about yet in the pregame that I'm really excited for, Ryora is in play this season. And I think on Consulate specifically, I mean, for anyone that hasn't kept up on Siege, in the past few weeks, haven't seen the new operator, has an ability, you can essentially block off doorways with a bulletproof barricade, open it back up again whenever you need to, open and close. I think it's a very site-specific operator. I'm excited to see how it plays. I think it's going to be great on a site like the second floor, but might struggle on basement. Consulate, an interesting map for it. And speaking of interesting, a Deimos ban. Not used to seeing that, but I really like the call. Going to allow these defenders to be a lot more aggressive on the vertical play, which is a really big component of the basement here.
In all honesty, seeing the Deimos ban is not something that you usually see, but on a map like Consulate with so many soft walls, I mean, let's be completely honest, it's really no surprise to see Deimos. You saw Mad Ducks in the chat there saying target ban, so maybe they actually did do a little VOD review, as most teams probably do, and Mad Ducks, of course, being the gunner that he is, you can only assume that he probably cooks on Deimos, so that definitely could have been one of the factoring reasons why Deimos got banned.
Absolutely, and of course the last defender that banned there, a little bit surprising, Valkyrie, incredibly strong operator, doesn't see a whole ton of banned out. I think especially when you have a team that's droning really well and working together, the Valkyms can be easy to clear, and we wanted it, we got it. Ryora round 1 here on the attack, and I think it makes sense upstairs. This is such a horizontal take, there's not a ton of vertical play on the top floor. You can easily close off flanks behind you, you can stop angles, and has 4 that kind of replenish over time, so you're able to limit a lot of these defender sightlines. And I think this is the one part of Consulate that doesn't have as much soft walls as the other one. I think specifically on that, I believe, east side of the map.
That is very true, and me personally, I didn't want to bring this up, but I thought it was funny actually now that we're seeing it. The first time I played Ryora was earlier today, my personal experience. And I got Consulate 3 straight times in Standard. My teammates weren't very good. It was just a regular Standard. But in all honesty, I got a chance to, put her in my hands and use her. And, of course, the first defense was upstairs. And you're so 100% correct about everything that you just said. It's a very horizontal take. if they could manage to get in through that little side wall upstairs, or maybe even through one of these side windows, you know, laterally from upstairs, all they have to do is push in through at least one doorway, and it's effectively blocked off. And it does make a loud enough noise. If you might not be thinking it does in game, the noise is pretty loud when it does decide to, you know, open or close.
Yeah, it is very easy to tell, and pretty quick work here from Wisconsin-Madison, getting that wall open early. Kentucky only opting for the mute in defense, so taken out very easily by the impact EMP. And something else we haven't talked about yet, but I'm sure you could see as the first blood gets out of the way, Ku, the player to watch from Kentucky, takes down Milite. How about that? The matchup was correct. 1 minute in, first blood of the game goes to Kentucky Blue. I mean, just impressive. Really nice opening from the Warden.
Yeah, I mean, Milite was the other player to watch from UW-Madison. He ends up going down a little early due to that hatch. Ooh, a lot going on here, as this was the wall that I was talking about, that if you were to enter it as Raora, you would have infinite possibilities on what you could block up. And it looks like she has all 4 ready in her back pocket, her being extra as of right now. We'll have to see if extra ends up being able to get any use, as Clab had a chance, ended up hurting Mad Ducks just a little bit. Love this angle that extra is on as well. Kind of missed his timing, but of course he doesn't have wall hacks to know that.
There you go, a delayed trade, but a trade all the same. Clab takes down Ku. That's the Warden in the east side of the map gone. It's interesting, 2 minutes in, and now Wisconsin-Madison just getting into the site. It's going to be the Monty on the main push, met by the Ella. Only one C4 on the side of Kentucky to slow this down, but they do have all their smokes remaining. About 30 seconds of denial time. If they can survive and use it, LaHaye almost gets taken out there on the wayside, and they're looking to plant this on A early. Still have the player inside of the closet. It's going to be the Grim out on the balcony. Monty pushing up, no teammates behind him for now. Raora struggling to find the angle. The gadget isn't polished yet, and now it's not going to work, and it's going to be Crypt picking up Intervent on the Monty. That is a big part of this push down. All smoke canisters extended as Kitty Kisser makes their way up the spiral stairs. Has one playing on the deployable shield there. It's the Ella, and be in a lot of trouble very quick. Extra finding the shots. Kitty Kisser waiting to come over. Now with Flores drone, should be able to push the defender out. And indeed they do. A good crossfire gets Crypt. 14 seconds left to go. They don't have enough time to execute. It might have to be kills. And the
first Raora kill.
Extra picks up 1, and now Goth Mommy takes down Clab. The C4 is out. The C4 is
there. We go.
Diffuser denied. Round denied. Goth Mommy with the last kill, and Kentucky picks up round 1.
He waited a little extra time just to ensure that 1, he was there, and 2, he was going that no one, not even a teammate close, was going to be able to get the diffuser and replant right behind. Very smart strategy from who else but Mad Ducks. And yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that it was, I mean, obviously you're not going to want that if you're UW-Madison, but I feel like if the Raora could have went on that door and maybe even could have blocked the Ella off on the other door, it would have been a little different. Maybe not. I mean, the Ella wasn't moving off the shield, off the vending machine shield anyway. But I mean, that definitely could have put at least a little pressure on her. Maybe she could have swung due to it. But yeah, it's just one of those things where the operator isn't necessarily fully, you know, fixed currently, and that's okay. You know, still wanted to give the players a shot at making a few new strats up as they go.
Yeah, new operator not used to a ton of success last round. Not picked up here. I think obviously that upstairs site just one that they're good at, and that gadget is hard to use. Saw extra there trying to angle it onto the doorway, just couldn't get it. It's still finicky, it's still new, and you have to be at just the right angle to hit it. And unfortunately, with that player in the hallway, just unable to move in. Now we go back to the downstairs bomb site. Kentucky is one that's heavily favored by defenders, and keeping this breach closed is going to be their main objective. With only a mute though, impact EMPs from Monty. This wall should be coming open very, very shortly, barring a really nice C4 from Crypt. And the Monty's upstairs, actually, they're not going for the wall. They're just going to try to push the defender off the vert. Believe it's Castle. Indeed, Maddox falls back down to the bottom floor. Really nice room clear, but you still have 2 on the second floor, and one of them rings true. That's the Oryx through the floor. What a shot by Q onto Milite again. Second time the opening opens up for the player to watch from Kentucky.
Player to watch on player to watch crime here. Milite going down, not necessarily getting a chance to show his prowess. At the same exact time, Monty goes down and Clab ends up getting Coup. Wow, Clab gets another one on Delue. While Monty is still down, Intervent is still down there, but not necessarily in the most prime position to be picked up yet currently.
And has to be careful because the defenders are working their way back upstairs. Castle's on Spiral, Jaeger just on service stairs as well. It's a 4-3 for the meantime, but with Monty that low, no C4 means only bullets can down the shield operator. Clab, instrumental in clearing out that top roam, and now Castle's gonna fall back. Jaeger should soon as well. Main breach finally gonna open up from this thermite, and the defenders are being boxed in and boxed in quick. Quirks has an important role, only one left upstairs, and right now trying to flank Wisconsin-Madison. The question is, do they know Intervent's gonna run into them soon here?
Quirks is going to have to try his hardest to stay his ground up top. I'm not necessarily sure if the Buck knows, and he doesn't. Clab goes down. And see, that's the same thing that we were talking about. Quirks now knows that Kitty Kisser is up there with him. Of course, he had a pretty good idea in the first place. Buck and Ram don't go anywhere separate for too long. But Kitty Kisser with just the better swing, the better peek. Obviously, he knew he was there. You weren't necessarily looking straight at his head if you were Quirks, and that could have cost you a little bit.
What a shot.
Nice kill from Extra onto the yellow pillar. Takes out Quirks, and it's all up to Maddox here. He's got a Monty to worry about.
Great shot.
Never mind, he's not worried about him anymore. He's got a plant to worry about. A lot going on here. No more utility except for one more thermite charge on the side of the attackers, though.
Yeah, and has Kitty lying down too. This is going to be a really tough angle for Maddox to challenge. Might see him on the bulletproof cam, knows that thermite's going to be outside. Oh! It's a shot onto the Rams, but the UMP without enough damage. Super Shorty rushing forward, sitting right by the rotate hole. Thermite not holding across, just waiting. The shotgun won't get it. The secondary can't get it done, and Kitty Kisser closes it out for Wisconsin-Madison. A hectic round, but a winning round, and now the Badgers up on the board.
Kisser with the eraser skin. Shout out to Ubisoft for the celebration packs. Those things are electric. UW-Madison now on the board, though. And what does this spell for Kentucky Blue? Was that a fluke? Or was that just a, no, we didn't necessarily want to go downstairs, but we had to kind of round?
Honestly, I think it's just Clab kind of cracking open that round, right? As the Buck getting that double kill onto the top room. You could see it was important. Had two players up there, the other two in the basement. A little bit of a misclick by Maddox. Means the Maestro is missing a little bit of health and an impact grenade. Luckily, though, it won't go on to harm them too much. And this is interesting to see here from Kentucky. They are taking an extremely similar operator lineup so far for every site. I love to see it, but got to question how deep their strat bag is. Once this offense starts to take off some rounds, might see them dip into it a little harder. Wisconsin-Madison, again, using some similar operators. And the Monty play surprises me a bit. I think Intervent's done a fine job. Obviously 0-2. I don't think really their fault, but they haven't, like, used the Monty at all.
Not necessarily, no. Not in the way that we saw last week, where Monty was a literal walking drone and his team was just right behind him. It's been to a different extent to where Intervent goes off with the, I'm not going to say incorrect, but he goes off with the operators that you wouldn't really expect the Monty to go with. And so far, it hasn't necessarily paid too many dividends per se. But, I mean, it hasn't been a detriment, so you got to wonder, like, maybe they just weren't getting the right site setups. Maybe they just weren't getting the right operator lineup for the defenders. Literally anything is possible. And as we see Milite on the Sins here, he's trying his hardest to either get the opening kill or go down first again. You never know with him. But, yeah, they didn't ban Sins just like they asked him not to, and we'll have to see how that ends up turning this round out.
Yeah, since that slight rework, a very powerful operator, Mute Jammer, gonna close up the Soma charges for now. They do have impact EMPs again from this Monty. Intervent, yet again, nowhere to be seen. And I'm interested why they don't take the Blitz if they're just gonna solo push as a shield. But I digress, we'll see it later in this round. Handful of roamers, and the first one's gonna get the first kill. It's LaHaye onto one, LaHaye onto two as Clab falls as well. But can't be the hero twice in a row. Incredible double kill from the Fenrir to open this up. Got a third coming right towards him. Does he use a shot? Of course he does. Milite falls, 5-on-2. Kentucky Blue roaring here in round 3.
Good night, LaHaye. I mean, we were talking to Maddox earlier, and by we, I mean me and production. We were talking to Maddox earlier, and he said he was locked in. And I can only assume that meant his teammates as well. I mean, any team that he's on, his teammates are going to be doing insane as well. Anyway, the Maestro has really been, it's really been an important factor, and it's always an important factor if you bring it and use it correctly, as LaHaye has just been bouncing off of every call that his teammates have given him in order to really turn this one in the favor of UK Blue really quickly. As Extra just unfortunate goes down as Intervent was trying to be right in front of the door for him. Might not have ended well for Koo there, but instead, flawless round. Quartz ends up finishing Koo's job for him. That kind of looked like he shot him in the head a few times. Maybe it was just the shield.
I don't know. That was a weird last 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was.
Jumping
up on the table.
Hey, there you go. I said it last round. We see it this round. Intervent onto the Blitz instead of the Monty. I think it's the right call. He's been pretty much solo pushing, which is fine to do as a shield, but they're going to double shield it. I don't know. It's an interesting strat. Double shields can definitely work, but so far for Wisconsin-Madison, they haven't been doing anything with the shields. They're bringing the Ryora again, bringing the Grim again, both very good operators at kind of isolating defenders, shutting down angles, but you have to push behind your shields. One's going to repick onto the Flores. I think that's smart. They have 2 deployable shields. Flores Roam going to clear those out easy.
That's what I like about the attacker repick, being introduced in a way that attackers don't have to be locked into it anymore. Kitty Kisser might have thought, okay, we could go for this. Now he gets the flexibility to be able to hop on the Flores, and without even knowing where they were, he swapped to Flores, and now we know that Flores is going to be instrumental to this push if they're going to get it right due to that shield sitting on vending machines if they can get past the mute.
Absolutely. We'll see what transpires here in round number 4. Wisconsin-Madison trying to even this one up at 2 apiece. Console is still one of those maps that is slightly defender-sided, albeit I think it's more even than some others. So you definitely want at least 2 attacking rounds on this one if you're Wisconsin-Madison. Kentucky trying to stop that from happening, and I'm a little interested. They keep only going mute. They only have impact EMPs. That's the only utility they're bringing, and they don't have any here from the offense. Something like a Cade or a Bandit would completely shut down Hard Breach. But without those EMPs, for now, that balcony wall doesn't stay closed. They didn't mute jammer it. I don't even know.
See, and then them not mute jammering it must mean that, I mean, he has no mute jammers left in his back pocket, so I think it all comes down to they feel like they had a better spot for it to be in. I mean, as you can see right there, there's no one on it anymore. Crypt, the closest man in range, and he had ran away a little while ago, so it could have just been a simple diversion at the very least.
And I would like to know later where these mute jammers are, because they're not shutting down the wall, they're not shutting down the Flores drones. Maybe they're like denying intel on the what is it, yellow stairs, not service stairs, on the other side of the map. But the only problem is Wisconsin-Madison's not attacking that side. They're pushing into the other, and Milite up the stairs dies from behind. Q gets 1, LaHaye with a second. Just like that, 2 openings for Kentucky Blue, looking to close out this top floor yet again. The Blitz runs into 2, gonna get the first, can they find the second? Turns around just in time. What a play from Intervent, finally online. Baku with a double kill, rolling through. Kitty Kisser and Extra, the last 2. A lot of utility here still to work with. Those health bars on the other side are not forgiving, and 2 smokes still to stall out this push.
That is very true. 2 smokes and then a Warden to stop the smoke grenades of Raora. Not having to be too worried about the fact that there's no shield there anymore, as...
Good use of the gadget.
It worked that time.
No.
It wasn't the doorway that he wanted it to be on, though. Still a little finicky. But either was trying to get that far. There we go. Oh, but the Wamai stopped it right in its tracks. They know what he's trying to do now, and that would be a very useful Raora based on where I believe it's Mad Ducks that was over there. But a triple from Koo as Kisser was trying to simply get rid of some barbed wire. Get a chance to see the Reaper Mark II new pistol. Never mind, in action. The more Raora is played tonight, though, I feel like there is a chance at least. As Extra has nothing left to do now but hop in and try to get a kill. There it is.
Try to, just a few seconds. Yeah, not a great first showing for the first use of the Reaper Mark II. In play here, it's still a difficult gun to deal with. I think maybe a bit overhyped, but you know what can't be overhyped right now? Kentucky's defense firing on all cylinders. I think Q especially doing a very good job. Has 3 of the 4 first bloods so far, if I'm remembering correctly. And back onto the Oryx, hoping for similar results. It'll be interesting seeing this defense. They're going a bit differently. They are going to take the Kaid instead of the Mute, finally. Everything I wanted is coming true. Now they just don't have to die to the Buck. If the roamers upstairs lasted longer, could have been a different story. We'll see what happens here, though. Wisconsin-Madison likely going to be trying the same top-down approach.
Most likely, but see, that's what Coup is for. That's what LaHaye is for. They're looking more for the same thing that they saw a few rounds ago when it comes to UK Blues defense. They're looking for more of a, okay, we see that you guys are going over here, so we're going to rotate around, even though we were already on the top floor. We're going to, or, you know, the upper floor at least. We're going to try to move around you to a point where we can put you in a spot where it's easier to off you one by one. Or, if anything, they could do like LaHaye did and just make it 5-2 instantly. I mean, the roamers have been critical for UK Blues defense once already, and I'm expecting it to happen again after we saw Coup get that opening pick on the Oryx onto Milite through the floor. I'm expecting something like that to happen again with this approach, especially in looking at the attacker lineup that UW-Madison has.
Absolutely. I'd expect a lot of vertical pressure here from Kentucky. Saw Maddox setting up those castle barricades around the first floor, around that main entrance. And of course, Q yet again on the top floor.
His drone just bounced off the skylight.
That's not peak gameplay, unfortunately.
Nope.
It's gonna take about 20 seconds to get that drone back upstairs. Luckily for them, though, only 1 roamer up top this time instead of 2. Quirks still on the first floor, though, is around those service stairs, so can get up quickly if they need to. And uh-oh, Q didn't hear the drone at all. This Oryx could be in trouble. They're going to start to pinch on him. Q, though, raining out the shots. Now going to be in trouble. Exposes the back. Q, not knowing where it's coming from. And now here they come from behind. Clab going to be the one to take the gunfight. If they can find it. Oryx crouching. Oryx lands a shot. What an opening by Q. But there's just too many. The Oryx can't do anything. Traded back out by Interven off the shield for the first time. But great opening. I thought Q was dead for sure.
He's so good that he's good for 1 at the very least. So far, that's what's happened. He's basically been good for 1. He's actually been good for 1 from at least... Oh, he's over odds right now is what I'm trying to say. He's been good for 1 for every round plus a few. So, I mean, he's insane. And it's all thanks to, I mean, how good this team is. Kisser ends up taking Maddox off the board really quickly here, and now it is a round deficit. Not round, man deficit in the man count for UK Blue. As the wall does now get open, UW-Madison. Look at the floor destruction. Oh, but see, look at LaHaye. He's trying to do it again.
Yeah, and there's nobody on the second floor. There are a lot on first floor. Almost at a piano. Crypt gets one on a Kitty Kisser. The vertical play goes the wrong way for the Ram. Nice angle by Crypt playing behind Pillar.
Look at LaHaye.
Second one rings out. There's LaHaye with the flank. Can't land the second, though. Milite shuts it down just in the nick of time. 45 seconds. Diffuser on the garage breach. Wisconsin-Madison have enough time to play with, but they're looking at Legion Mine, C4, and 2 very good guns from Crypt and Quirks. Now, Milite still upstairs, both defenders left in the basement, and Crypt is still playing behind that pillar. They have yet to get him out of the pillar. They're not going to be able to from Vert. TCSG rings out. TCSG rings true. Crypt with the kill. Hatch now above. They got to know she's on the hatch. 20 seconds left to go for Milite to be the hero of this round. Gotta get the first one. There falls Quirks. Now it's only Milite, and Crypt knows exactly where the Kaid is. You have to hit these shots. Gotta hear the drop. Gotta hit him. Crypt with a triple to claw it back for Kentucky. What a round.
I mean, it all came down to that, and there was really no getting him off of pillar. You would have needed to throw a Grim B canister, and that might not even have gotten him. A Flores drone might have gotten him out of there. A shield pushing down yellow could have gotten him there. I call that yellow. It's actually white, I guess. I don't know. Coming in that door toward the pillar is what I'm trying to say. That door right by the pillar. That definitely could have pushed him out, but I mean, the TCSG in his hands. Crazy work.
This is going to be a big round for Wisconsin-Madison. We talked earlier, I think it was about round 3, how the map is a little defender-sided. You still want at least 2 attacking rounds, and this site is, I think, easier to the attackers. It's absolutely more forgiving. You get vertical play, and you know, like you have a pretty easy job clearing out the rest of the site. So for Kentucky, it's going to be a very heavy vertical hold here, especially LaHaye and Quirk's going to have to be 2 of the big guns upstairs, joined by Q. So if I'm Wisconsin-Madison, you need something to push these roamers out. I kind of like the way they're going. Blitz, I think, a very strong operator for picking players out. They have their Ryora again. Not great on the middle floor, but you're going to be taken from the top, so is still going to find that value. I'd like to see them on something like a Jackal that's gone unbanned, but not yet.
I feel like the Jackal definitely could help with the fact that we've just seen so much roam prowess from UK Blue while they've been on their defense. Something like a Jackal definitely could help. I do like the Blitz pick though, and it looks like the Finka is going to be following him. These are their we have roam clear at home operators that they decided to bring, UW-Madison did, because that's exactly what they're going to be attempting to do here right after they get done droning. And see, now that Intervent had a drone destroyed, they've got a pretty good idea as to where Quirks is.
Yeah, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Luckily, he has 3 others upstairs. Maestro is the only one not on the top floor.
It's on a cooldown.
Oh, the cooldown there ringing true. LaHaye not able to open that up. Great job by Milite using that to get into a powerful position. Good niche for the new operator, and now with 1 upstairs, it's going to be easier for the others. And look, they're just going to walk onto site, and they've called this absolutely correctly. There's only 1 on the first floor, and that's LaHaye. They can stop that Maestro cam as well when it starts to fire. It's going to be huge. Diffuser in the corner. They're going to be able to get this diffuser down unless somebody gets here quick. Q falls for the first time on the other side of the opening. Clap with the kill. Clap with a double. Finka LMG for the win. Now 5-on-3. Diffusers down. A massive oversight by Kentucky. Attackers just drop to the basement. Now Kentucky has to take a rough retake, but they're going to open it up. Quirks with 1 on to Milite. There's 1 outside the window.
Easy.
Not a good hop in. Clap falls to Maddox. Just now it's a 3-on-3. 20 seconds to get on that diffuser, and with the blitz in the corner, it's going to get harder and harder. LaHaye trying to make an opening. Knows he has to get that one first. Thermite's underneath. Hits the headshot.
He's going to let him get it. Maddox is helping him.
From underneath. What a shot, though, from the Thermite. Flash out. You have 4 seconds to get on that diffuser. Only 1 left. It's not going to work. Wisconsin-Madison take their second. Great round from the attackers.
Wow. You know, when we saw Extra fall down there, we had a pretty good idea that he was just going to hold it from below. And, of course, that's what he did. That was probably the smartest play, because the site control very quickly went back in the hands of UK Blue, and then due to him holding it below, he can see if anybody's long arming it, and boom, they're done. That's exactly what was going to happen. If he wasn't below, that's what was going to happen. Maddox was reinforcing. I don't mean in the literal sense. He was helping his teammate at the very least. You know, he was going to watch his back and whatnot, but the hole through the floor, the falling of the attacker, the falling of Extra as they were, you know, as the plant had went down, making that little hole, absolutely perfect. Couldn't have thought of a better idea myself. Love that hatch being right there. That really helped them out as well. And yeah, they ended up taking another one to make it a 4-2 split. I feel like that's a little easier now.
And I love seeing that attack. They identified pretty quickly on that they really weren't going to be stopped from just walking into the site and planting the diffuser. It's not often you see that, this high level of play, but of course when you get too technical, you're so focused on holding that vert because you know that's where good teams are going to go. You completely forget about the bomb setting. Even if there's a Meister cam, there's 2 people. The person not planning is just going to shoot it. An oversight from Kentucky means they will not take the 5-1 split. Wisconsin-Madison now, their first foray into the defense. Excited to see how they play this. They play pretty slow, pretty methodical offense. Interested to see how it translates. And unlike Kentucky, bringing a castle for the top floor, so really trying to stall out some time here in coordination with that Goyo and Malusi.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, seeing the castle, Goyo, and Malusi, and even the Wamai means that they kind of have the same mindset when it comes to the little bit slower and more methodical style of defense. And vice versa, looking at Kentucky Blues attack, we're seeing Lion, we're seeing Striker, we're seeing Grim, and we're seeing Jackal. These are heavy roam clear operators. Whether they wanted to start from the bottom and go up, or whether they wanted to hop right in, they were going to make sure that no one was going to be shooting them in the back. That is one thing that University of Madison didn't quite have figured out in their attacks. and it kind of cost them being down 4-2 now. And look at that, they even had the Ash up there with them. They were playing this as smart as possible, and it so far has worked out, but Clab is here to try to make sure it doesn't continue to work out for them.
Great answer by the Council there after that opening by LaHaye, and that's such an important pick for Wisconsin-Madison. Talked about all their utility to stall out this push, and now you don't have Ash's breaching charge to get rid of it. Castle barricades, Goyo canisters that you can't see the red part. You are just good. These attackers not going to be able to clear that out. Wisconsin-Madison now just have to essentially sit back and wait. Kentucky Blue trying to get out the window. Castle
Gotta punch the Castle, yep.
From the other way around. Yeah, no explosions means no getting that open the easy way. Just sitting on rappel here, Jackal waiting to make some impact. And on the top floor, Jackal, an incredible operator, but just doesn't find a ton of impact. These players are so close to the site. I believe he might be. I really hope that's not the case, and maybe just on TikTok or something.
Might lag out. I hope not.
Exactly. Never want to see that answered back. It's still a 4-on-4, but some low health bars. Kentucky, though, has to start moving quick. There's only 50 seconds, and that is not a lot of time when the defenders are holding these angles. Am now seeing one peek out? It's going to be Quirks taking gunshots, and I believe it's Maddox at the end. Maddox, gets a kill on Extra. A great shot from the Lion. Has to be careful, though. One tick of the Goyo, going to shut them down. Crypt with one onto Milite. And just like that, Wisconsin-Madison, instead of waiting, are peaking aggressive, and they are losing lives for it. Third one will follow. Got Mommy with the double kill. Maddox there falling down to Clab. Clab now left in a 1v3. UMP, a good gun with a good sight. Diffuser going down. If Q is stuck on that rappel.
It's a 1v1. It's a 1v1.
Planting. It's a 1v1. This is horrible luck for Kentucky, and Crypt knows it. Crypt has to get away quick. Gonna go over back to the balcony.
He might not make it.
You gotta rush if Clab gets on this.
He's not on the diffuser.
Clab doesn't know. Clab doesn't know that the Jackal's stuck. The Jackal can't even shoot. Now Crypt has made their way underneath the balcony. Going to be playing right under the diffuser. With the Bailiff can afford to do that. Q is just Q is open. They make their way to him. Now it's Clab underneath, just waiting. Here's the prompt. Gonna wait to hear it longer. Playing inside a lobby, waiting to swing. 4 seconds on the diffuser, and the Grim finally should swing. Is the Grim not? Are you serious?
There you go, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
Woo. I was kind of worried too. I ain't gonna lie. He wanted
risky.
to make sure that it wasn't a bait, though.
I guess, but holy cow. It seemed like less than a second on that defuse. That is cutting it close. Hopefully Q gonna be able to rejoin in the next round and not have to restart the game or anything. And it does not look like it.
Yeah, I mean, he picked his operator there, and IQ could honestly be pretty instrumental based on what we're seeing.
If you're stuck on the rappel
here, I mean, if you're stuck on the rappel, you can at least. I mean, we saw him swap guns, so maybe he could have activated his gadget. And if he happens to get stuck again, IQ is a great pick. As we're seeing Collab, one of the first times I've ever, maybe I think it's only been like twice that I've actually been able to talk about Scopos being played during a match that I just so happen to be the voice for here. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Clab actually uses her.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think Scopos is an extremely interesting operator. I'm so undecided. I love Scopos personally. I'm a big fan of using her. I'm so undecided on if it's a good or a bad operator. But seeing the players of this skill set user, I know it's going to be put to good effect. You essentially just get a free flank back up onto one of the upper floors if you need to with that drone as long as it goes unseen. So we'll see how they use it. Club just practicing the Shaco Pixo, getting ready to hit somebody from Kentucky Blue, who opening up that attacking round now has put themselves in a great position to, at the very least, send us to overtime here on map 1.
That's very true. At the very least, we're probably going to get overtime. I think Ku is moving. I think he is good and well from what I can see as of right now. Yep, he is Twitch droning. At the very least, he wants to be able to get on his drone, yeah. And the Cave Claw left out in the open, that is certainly a questionable choice, but that is the reason why he swapped from IQ to Twitch, though. They might not have necessarily known unless they droned him out. But the Twitch is definitely the better pick, as we just saw. Now the wall can get open, but it really depends, like, you know, how many of them are going to be down there, and you also have to worry about the Tubarão. Milite's not going to be down there, though. Ku and Crypt both get on the board early here. Kisser goes down. Oh, my Lord. Ku going crazy. He's back for a vengeance. Extra goes down now, and it's all up to Clab and Intervent.
She was not happy about being locked out of last round, and they are making the lobby pay for it. Twitch now on 9-5. One shot though, and Kaid now shoots through the wall at the wrong time. The Twitch has already passed. Clab can escape if they need to, but in a 2-on-5, you got to stay downstairs. And Intervent is turning a million miles an hour. Not sure where the attack is coming from, and they spaced it out well. This is just a turn after turn of looking away at the wrong time. You're on the phone's ring though. Death is sure to follow, and there it is. LeHay gets Intervent. They're looking for a flawless round here. Clab though gets one. Will shut it down. Quirks playing too aggressive. Diffuser going down inside of A-site. It'll go down without problems. The Scopos now can flank to the top floor, but you can't change robots if you're dead. Kentucky with another round, and now launch us on to match point.
Look at that peeking crypt, reminding me of prime Bolo there, TSM days. Shout out to the GOAT on retirement. We cannot wait to see if there is a chance for you to come back anytime soon. And speaking of GOATs, UW-Madison, the GOATs that they are, have decided that it is timeout time. Fisher, what are they talking about? I mean, everything has gone right, but oh so wrong at the exact same time for them.
I mean, I think the problem is a simple one. It sounds, I always feel so dumb whenever I give like this kind of suggestion. They're just losing their gunfights. There's nothing going wrong in the strategies. Right. They're not like exploiting any big holes. They're literally just dying. That's the only thing going wrong right now for Wisconsin-Madison. So if I don't know if they got a coach in the call with them. I don't know what's going on from their side, but you know, settle down. Your strats are working fine. They haven't been tested a whole ton, but that's not the problem. You just got to settle down. You have to hit your shots. In Kentucky Blue, they're playing this like quickly. They're still droning out a pretty decent amount, but you can maybe try to play off that, you know, hide in the corner, do something aggressive on a roam where they're not going to be expecting. Wisconsin-Madison has played their defenses extremely conservative. Now might be the time to switch it up, because if you can get yourself that elusive first kill, I think that'd go a long ways in the confidence department at the very least. And this is interesting. We got a Mira on first floor. I love the call from Intervent.
Is that comp, by the way? Is that tech telling your own teammate to shut up? That was kind of funny back and forth we had as you were describing what UW-Madison should do. And in all honesty, I will 100% agree with you. UW-Madison, I've loved the strats that I've seen come out of them. I've loved the operator lineup. I've loved the placement of the gadgets. I've even loved the placement of the operators to a certain extent. But when you're in the right place at the wrong time, it really shows more than when you're in the right place at the right time, in my personal opinion. And when you're looking at it that way, that's the exact reason why UW-Madison is down 6-2 right now. They have been in the right place at the wrong time, and even in the wrong place at the wrong time as well so far here, and it definitely shows on the score sheet, on the round sheet, and in the fact that we could be on Clubhouse sooner rather than later. LeHay, once again, reminded me of prime Bolo, swinging right on in. Ash ACOG. He might be good for 1 or 2 here because he has been on a heater.
Yes, they have. LeHay looking to make a big entry here. There are a couple players playing upstairs. 3, in fact. Clab, Milite, and Extra all sitting upstairs. And now sees that Mira. Ash has to be careful, but of course Ash can take down the mirrors. Lamai's discs, though,
he's been called out
can
now.
save it, and it does look like they had one. Yeah, now they know Ash is upstairs. There's another one breaking in as well. Looks like Kentucky attacking very, very strongly here from the east side at the top floor. And Wisconsin-Madison need to get their initial shots. They need to win these first gunfights. Milite taking some damage. The player to watch has yet to get going. Extra. Now the second Ash charge grabbed by another magnet. Huge play. C4 out. C4 will not land, though. A little bit of health onto LeHay. Crypt going to be the one to try to destroy that Mira. They cannot get past the window. Kentucky are throwing themselves at a brick wall, and the brick wall is not giving. It remains open. Kentucky Blue need to find another angle.
They need to find another angle, and they need to find it now, because as of right now, this mirror has been working wonders for the defenders in UW-Madison. That has to be something that they at least brought up, I would think, within their meeting, or their timeout there. Q does get a kill though, and you're right, that's huge. That's on to Milite. That's on to their player to watch.
They can't get the mirror open
either. That is very true. Crypt ends up getting Kisser, and you're right, the mirror can't be open now, and Clab is taking full advantage of it.
They got to be careful, though. They are losing people again. It's what we diagnosed in the timeout. We'll see if it comes true. They have to start winning these gunfights. They got to start quickly. One man down, low health bar as well onto the Wamai, but you've now effectively denied half the map on the top floor. You got to move this mute back downstairs to help out. Extra Hill gets the kill onto Q, still being useful. And Crypt's just standing on the mirror at the first floor. They don't see it. They're going to walk right into it. Intervent, though, manages to get some shots off. We're gonna need help on this site soon. Ace is knocking at the door, and so are the other two. The top floor is forgotten, and there are still 2 players upstairs for Wisconsin-Madison. The first falls, they have to get back to site. We see a drop inside on the other bomb chassis. Clap goes down. It's now all extra from above, and yet again, the middle floor site is proving to be the kryptonite. These players are ignoring the bomb site. Diffuser down, hooks down, man down. Kentucky Blue take map 1.
Kentucky Blue take map 1 off of a impactful performance from LaHaye and from basically everyone on that team. Crypt went off. I mean, Koo obviously went insane. We were looking forward to seeing him go off. You gotta hope, if you're UW-Madison, you can pull into the next one with just a little bit of momentum. All 3 of their top players had 10 kills. I mean, insane work from University of Kentucky Blue, man.
It really was, and it's a tough turnaround, right, if you're Wisconsin-Madison, because obviously they don't have our perspective. Like, they don't see everything that's going on the map. They don't know what all the utility accounts had all the time. It was almost a perfect defense. They just didn't get the kills. They defended that top floor well. They defended all the rounds so well, but now you have to make that adjustment going into map 2. You have to have somebody to call it out, you know? You are doing fine. You got to settle down. You got to hit shots. And from Kentucky, those beautiful attacks. I mean, I thought their defense was already really strong, but especially on Clubhouse. I think Clubhouse is an extraordinarily fair map to attackers. If you can do the same thing you've just done on Consulate, it's going to be a really quick 2-0. And I know for all the people that love competitive sets, hoping that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Kentucky Blue are just rolling right now.
They are. And when you speak about their defense, I'll get into it a little bit more as we go into map 2, but I do want to say their defense, their attack, they looked like the more complete team. I will say University of Wisconsin, Madison, whatever, the other team, they honestly, I think, especially on their defenses, they secluded well. They made sure that it was okay to have each other's back and also to be watching each other from above or below. I think everything was working for them, like you said, except for the guns. They weren't necessarily getting the flicks they needed. They weren't ending fights quick enough. That fight on the Mira, that last round right there, even though the Mira couldn't be broke anymore, there were 2 separate defenders on that Mira. They let it get drug out for so long. They ended up getting 1 attacker from it, but then that made it to where University of Kentucky Blue, they could take the exact same thing that University of Madison was doing and use it against them. They ended up secluding the Mira on the bomb. They ended up collapsing in on him. You had backup. It was a 2-on-1 easy as he was stuck there on that bomb. So it's like they're way more of an adaptive style team. What they did on the defense was great, and then they took what they saw on the attack from the other team, used it against them. And I think that was the really smart play to just all of the plays were very smart from them on their attack. Maddox was talking to us pre-game, pre-show. He said he's locked, and his whole team also showing that they are locked in as they have taken map 1 7-2. University of Kentucky Blue is on top. We're getting ready to come at you with a break, and when we get back, we'll be coming back with map 2. Clubhouse, stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that we just left you, but we're already back. All the players are locked. They're ready to go. They're leaned up, locked in their chairs. Once again, Ace of Toronto, my partner in crime here, other way around. Boom, Fisher. Fisher, how are you feeling after that one? Before we hop right into the player to watch.
I mean, feeling a little whiplash. I was ready
Yeah.
for that to be a back and forth game. Talked about a ton, like, the standings, these teams, how strong they are on certain maps. And it just kind of fell apart for Wisconsin-Madison. I mean, they started on a tough side on attack, able to get 2 rounds. I thought was pretty good, but the defense was not there. We talked about it enough. I'm sure we'll move on soon, so we don't harp on it for too long. The guns were not there, and that's what sticks out to you on this KD. Milite, especially the player to watch, 2-9. Did not have a good game. There's no way to sugarcoat it, but hoping, of course, for Wisconsin-Madison's sake, that they can turn that around to get it going here in game 2. And on the other side, for Kentucky, 3 players at 10 kills, almost unheard of in a game that went by that quickly. Just 9 rounds. That is an extraordinary job kind of spreading around the kill count.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. Kentucky Blue have told us that they are locked. They're ready. Speaking of Kentucky Blue, let's take a look at the player to watch. It is going to be Crypt from Kentucky Blue, as Crypt went absolutely insane last time they were on Clubhouse. And a quick fun fact, the reason why it is Crypt is because Wisconsin-Madison have not yet played Clubhouse this season so far.
Yeah, and if we're going by history, the players that haven't played the map have performed pretty well on it based on last week's covering. Kind of watched a skyscraper, but you can't fight with the numbers, right? 63 SPR, KD above 3 is unheard of, and the survival rate as well, which is always one of my favorite stats. Over 60% living 3 out of the 5 rounds, doing everything right here. Crypt, absolutely going to be a player to watch, especially after having 10 kills last game as well.
That's very true, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not gotten your bets in, go ahead, place your Midwest bets now. We're going into map 2, University of Kentucky Blue. Maverick ban on Clubhouse.
I like it.
I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as bad as like a Maverick ban on another map would be. I don't know if I agree with it all the time. I don't know how important Maverick tricking is, especially when it's so easy to watch that utility from the window there, if we're talking about something like CCTV. But, some teams just really like Maverick, and maybe Kentucky Blue is one of the teams that like him. The rest of the bans so far following suit, Blackbeard, Azami. We'll see if it's another Valk ban. That kind of surprised me in game 1. Interested to see if they go the same way here in game 2.
When it comes to Maverick specifically on Clubhouse, I think he can be really important for. I got a lot of hate for this when I brought it up in PCL, but I call that wall on the 2nd floor right outside gym. Me personally, I call it Jacuzzi Wall.
That's what I say too. It's
I was
perfect.
going to say I don't know if anybody else calls it Jacuzzi Wall. I think it actually is a covered up either hot tub or jacuzzi. I have always called it Jacuzzi Wall. Yeah. I'd gotten a little bit of flack about it over in at our friends at CCL, but yeah, he can be so important on that wall specifically. I think, especially when the site setup isn't in gym bedroom.
100%. And the good thing about calling it Jacuzzi Wall, even if somebody else calls it a different name, you know what wall they're talking about.
Yeah,
like, it's not one of those
yeah.
call-outs where it's very obscure. Even if you don't call it Jacuzzi, you know where Jacuzzi is. And interestingly, Mira unbanned. I thought if I was Kentucky, I know they like the Azami ban. They took it away last time. Azami's an extremely popular operator, extremely strong. Mira on this map is so powerful.
Very true.
On just
I'll
about
agree with you
every
on that.
site, you can make it work. I don't know why they're opting to play into that, especially considering how much trouble they had dealing with the Mira last time we saw that operator. So if I'm Wisconsin-Madison, I'm looking to exploit that. I'm playing this Mira almost every round. We'll see if that is the plan from them. Still working on getting those mirrors up. From Kentucky Blue, a lot of hard breach and a lot of EMPs as well from the Thatcher. They're looking to get in Jacuzzi, get in logistics very quickly. Not surprised by what this team will choose to attack.
And see, look at the operators that they brought. They made sure that they could get into both walls if needed, along with having that roam protection in Ku and LaHaye being on Striker and Ash respectively, just to ensure that nothing bad was going to happen to him. But see, look, that's how important Thatcher can be when you've got both hard breachers and you can actually have a chance to get the walls open. That side wall did end up getting open due to Intervent having to move out of the way, but in all honesty, if he'd have got there a little bit sooner, he probably would have been able to get it. Either way, look at that mirror. It's sitting there, it's watching it. We as the casters, obviously, and the viewers know that Kisser is behind that. He ends up blowing his nitro. What a well-placed nitro to get the ace charges off the mirror. But look at that, LaHaye doing exactly what I said he would, making sure no roamers are shooting the incoming attackers in the back, doing his job and doing it well, but do they know about extra?
I think they do, because there goes the wall. Extra forced off into the corner, gonna have to play a very difficult angle now. Have they spotted him on the drones? Yes, they have. The pre-fire. Easy pickings for Q, losing a little bit of health. But now the Ash into cash very easily. Intervent gonna be the one in logistic to try to stall this out. The Aruni is on the first floor, and the Aruni has to get back upstairs fast because it's a 5-on-3, and they're pushing their way onto sides. Has gotten up the main staircase to be able to contest with Crypt here. Now with Maddox on the windows, you have no flank potential, and now you don't have a mirror either.
Lord.
Good swing from Milite, gets one on Jacuzzi wall. LaHaye though with a double, it's a double for Q as well, and almost a triple at the speed of lightning running into that stream of bullets. Goes the Ash. Now they know where the Aruni is. They don't have the diffuser, but it might not matter. 3 guns are going to be trained on that hallway, and only one needed. Triple kill from LaHaye. Great opening round by the striker. And yet again, this Kentucky attack is just so difficult to contend with.
They're one of the better attacking teams that I feel like I've ever watched, and I have casted grand finals before in a few different leagues in a few different places, seen a whole bunch of different faces. The attacking side of University of Kentucky Blue has honestly been, like I said just a second ago, one of the best attacks I've seen just out of all of them. And like I say, I've been doing this for a while now. Like, the way that I keep bringing up the fact that they seclude players. But it's like when you can effectively seclude players, put them on an island, and have it be 2 versus 1 or even 3 versus 1 in some cases, that is critical, because then you're taking out what could end up being a critical part of their defense. Someone who still has Gadget left in their pocket, someone who still has an Impact left in their pocket, a Nitro left in their pocket. Anything is possible, and just the effective roam clear. I love it, I love it, I love it. The fact that they're making sure their supports stay alive in order to be able to do what's needed to be done. As soon as Maddox ended up using all of his Thatcher grenades, he was watching crosses, making sure teammates got into effective positions quickly. He did his job correctly. LaHaye and Koo being the literal bodyguards for this University of Kentucky team, making sure that these players can get to where they need to get and get there fast. I mean, they have just been so effective. Every bullet has been for a purpose. Not a singular bullet so far has been wasted on either map for the attacking side specifically of University of Kentucky Blue.
Now Kentucky Blue onto attacking the basement. I'm a little bit surprised. Wisconsin-Madison now, throughout 2 maps, have shown the second they lose a bomb site, they just move on to the next one. And I think it was kind of like what we were saying in game 2. I hate to sound like a broken record. The strat wasn't bad. They just lost their gunfights. Now they're going to go down to the basement. And I think luckily for basement, they had a couple roamers get picked out that time. I believe it was Extra and Kitty Kisser inside a cache. You don't have to roam on basement. Everyone's in the bottom floor, and it's perfectly fine. You sometimes want some room presence, but it's not going to hurt you to have everybody on that floor. And Kentucky is taking a while to drone this out. They brought the mirror again, definitely like that from Milite, going to be able to hold Oil Pit and the main staircase. So now they really just have to worry about that kitchen hatch rather, but with those electric claws, might be able to keep them closed until this Thatcher gets a hold of them. Maddox going to be pushing in soon to the kitchen, I'm sure. 3 C4s in pocket. And if I'm Wisconsin-Madison halfway through this round, I'm feeling good. You haven't lost anyone. You have a lot of utility, and as the time dwindles down, it gets so difficult to attack this site if you only have a few seconds.
Exactly. We see Koo get hurt a little bit, but see, that's how effective the supports have been for University of Kentucky Blue. You were talking about the electric claws, and just like that, Maddox is up there. He's thatchering hatches for his team. Crypt ends up playing the Hibana role perfectly. And now it's like, okay, we've created the top-down pressure for you guys. Kitchen is open. Moto is open. Moto is open. We still have 2 Thatchers in pocket, and LaHaye still has a hard breach charge. Coup, get in there. Quirks, get in there.
Uh-oh.
And just like that, look at that. Maddox ends up taking one from.
Oh,
he sees his
my
elbow.
gosh.
He
The
saw his
flashbang.
elbow.
The flashbang sticks out the elbow, and the guy falls, and 4 more fall with him.
Oh
Clark's with
my
the double.
lord!
It's a flawless in 5 seconds. Kentucky cannot be stopped. Wisconsin-Madison need to find an answer, and they need to find it right now.
On the ropes is an understatement. We still technically have, at the very minimum, 5 more rounds. And in all honesty, Madison, Wisconsin, if they could be knocked out in more than 7 rounds, that's what we would be trending towards right now. Just the effective drone placement, the effective droning. You know, the fact that your supports are staying alive, the fact that your supports are getting all of their utility out, they're doing everything right in order to get their gunners going. Coup, LaHaye, they have been instrumental so far to how good Kentucky Blue has done throughout the last map and this one. Both of them getting 10 kills then as well. And now, Coup has 4 and LaHaye has 3. And what kind of a testament do you say to that? Coup barely even had to use any of his gadgets at all. He didn't have to use an ash charge. Actually, he might have used 1 ash charge. I don't think he used any breaching charges. Of course. Okay, so he did use both ash charges at the very least. But it's like, you want to make it as effective as possible in order to be able to give your players the best chance of winning their gunfights at the very least. And that is something that Kentucky Blue has done so perfectly. And it's just as simple as winning their gunfights. Due to their supports, helping out, using every single piece of utility that they have, it's really proven leaps and bounds for them so far.
Yeah, now Wisconsin-Madison are in a tough spot. It is just not working out for them. Lost the last 5 rounds in a row, I believe, all on the defense. That's hard to do, even if it's through a few maps. And this is an interesting room. This is a large extension. Finally going to get that opening kill. Milite had a rough map number 1. Coming alive on map 2. 3 kills through 3 rounds. Looking for a 4th as well as another player close. This is... I don't know if I've seen this setup from Wisconsin. It might be for good reason as Q gets 2. Oh my gosh, he actually just in sight. Ran through dirt. Doesn't have the diffuser, but has the kills. What is going on? Wisconsin-Madison have to get downstairs, but they're all on the 1st floor. We've seen this before this set. Are we going to see it again? Maddox with the diffuser just now coming down dirt. Q gets a 3rd. LaHaye with 1. It's all on Clab. What can you do to turn this around? Kentucky is steamrolling these attacks, and now it's all on to Clab in a 1v3, in a post plant, in an almost unwinnable situation. Q on 7-1, looking for the 8th. 1 shot, though, 1 bullet from this Legion will shut down the Ash. Maddox now repositions back into dirt. The Ace playing back as well. They're not going to give them any opportunities here to steal this round away. On the chassis with the kill. It's a quadra. It's the 8th of the game, and we're only on round 3. Kentucky cannot be stopped.
Q has been unstoppable. Mozzie had a nitro in his pocket, but he had absolutely nothing that he could do. Q was watching church. Here's how effective their attack has been. Q had a kill, and he was watching church on the other bomb site, by the way. On the other bomb. He was on the chassis for basically half of that round. That's how effective they have been. You give them the opportunity, you give them an inch and they will take a mile. They've taken 3 so far, and they're going to take more based on the way this attack has been looking. I will hearken back to the fact that the immense pressure that your supports can put on the enemy is just something that you can't even wish for if you're a team who's a little bit lower in the rankings right now. Because, in all honesty, that has been the driving and deciding factor so far when it comes to how good UK Blue have been doing on their attacks. When you have your supports letting every single piece of utility go, when you have them using every single gadget, when you have them creating such heavy pressure, they're not even going to be looking for you. And Coup just proved that. He literally just proved it. Look at LaHaye trying to turn into Prime Spoit here. Shout out Spoit. leaving M80. We have no idea where he's going, but he is a gunner. Voight being known for his shotgun on Deimos strats that he has pulled out in Pro League. We'll have to see if LaHaye can kind of replicate, maybe?
I hope so. I love shotgun on Deimos. I think it's a ton of fun in LaHaye. Having this operator banned out last game as well. Now I'm going to see for the first time if it was a target ban or if they just didn't like Deimos. Looks like it's a pretty similar setup. They do have a few new operators, but they have 2 tucked away inside of Cash. Scopo staying in the castle, though. Gonna throw some wrenches into Kentucky's plans, and it looks like they're going for a different attacking. They have not put any focus on Jacuzzi. They are just focusing on getting this cash wall open. Uh-oh, the Deimos sees one, misses the shots. Milite with the kill, but Q trades it out for the 9th. Can he hit double digits 4 rounds in? Of course he can. The gunner from Kentucky gets it done. 10-1 for the Ash. Opens up the round with a beautiful double kill. Wisconsin-Madison now. They have a lot of time to go. It's still 2 minutes, and Q is just going to try to walk into the site yet again. Has the bandit to his right in the hallway. Intervent between the Ash here. I don't know if the Ash knows that the bandit is standing literally right there. The swing.
He has almost to hear him, right? No?
Bandit's just looking at logistics.
He's definitely listening to him.
Wow, and Maddox gets one on the extra. Now the Ash hears it, but Intervent is back inside the site. Kitty Kisser sitting inside a secret is going to be extremely important. But the bandit is going to fall through. It's a triple. It won't be another quarter, though. Kitty Kisser shuts it down, but now under pressure from the window. It's going to be from Logi, and now in a 1v2, a winnable situation for Wisconsin-Madison.
He's got a great mirror here, though.
C4 still in pocket. Q lamenting as a KD falls to a 5.5. Ripped.
Oh, he baited it perfectly.
Where's Maddox on the cover? EMP comes in, gonna lose a reticle. C4 out. C4 stunned by the EMP. He threw it too soon. Incredible EMP from the Thatcher as one goes down. Maddox now has to land the shots, playing behind the mattress. Gonna land? No. Half health for the Thatcher. Still has a secondary shotgun. Thatcher repositioning. Kitty Kisser can reload if they figured it out. Triple kill. Or the
Use his mirror against him, Maddox.
Now gonna have the tech scuttling away behind the bomb chassis. Goes the mirror, still in the bedroom, sitting there, crouch level. Maddox hits it. Beautiful try from Kitty Kisser, but Kentucky with 4 straight rounds to open up club.
Maddox is locked, ladies and gentlemen. We've been speaking to Maddox all day long. He's locked, and the funny enough thing here about it is he's actually playing in the lounge of the Kentucky esports room. He is not even in his own room at his own setup, and he is still gunning out for this team. I mean, it's at this current point in time, I'm thinking of it more as a team effort and Coup, because Coup has just been going absolutely insane, and all you can really do is support him, and that's what I've been harping on, is the fact that his supports have been doing so well, and it's being proven to me right in front of my face. The only one who isn't doing as well as you might want him to is Crypt. But in all honesty, Crypt has been so instrumental to... He has played a operator with a important gadget and an important role to play every singular round. He's played Hibana and Ace mostly. He is, even though he has 0 right now, he has been just as important, in my opinion, as... I would say Maddox, yeah. I feel like they're both of equal importance as of right now, along with Quirks, and then of course LaHaye and Coup. Just let them run wild, and they will win you some rounds.
For anyone that's been keeping an eye on the in-game chat there, Kentucky Blue is feeling themselves. They're cocky, they're fired up, they're ready to go, and they got good reason to be. I mean, a 4-0. I'm not even going to calculate the kill differential right now. I think it's 20-8 if initial impressions are right.
Oh, yeah.
It is 20-8. Yeah, that's hard to come back from. And for Wisconsin-Madison now, you've lost a defense. You can still get a round or two. Oh my gosh, he's going to get another. Castles look at the roadway. Moves at the right time, though. Lucky from
Still might have got him, I won't lie.
Gets the drone, though. There's not a ton of drones left for Kentucky. They have to be careful. I know the guns are kind of heating up right now. You think you're invincible, but you are not going to have a lot of intel late in this round if Wisconsin-Madison can stall out. Thatcher, Ace should be able to open up at least one of the walls. We'll see if Bandit has a timing.
Yep, he got one at least, yep.
Okay.
A little bit of a hole.
It's not bad, it's not bad.
Can't vault through it, but I mean, you can still shoot through it. Quirks. Opening kill again. Secluded. Kitty Kisser was on an island, and he made him pay for it. Exactly, but see, look at how many people are around him. Intervent just showed up to the stairs right then. Oh, looked away for half a
Beautiful.
second. Who goes down to Clab? And that's your top gun off the board. We saw it last round, but can they replicate?
Oh.
Hey, ooh, he might have been done there. I won't lie. Very lucky.
Oh,
my
the ears
lord.
play a huge role, though. Clab finds a drop from LaHaye. Now Wisconsin-Madison, their first time where they look like they have control of this defense. We talked about the drones. There is one drone remaining. Soon to be none. Quirks with the shotgun on Deimos. You love to see it. Clab falls. That's the downstairs roamer from Wisconsin-Madison. Evens us back up 3 apiece. Just over a minute to go. Kentucky still in a rough spot in terms of utility. They're out of hard breach. They still have their Deimos trackers. Oh my gosh, and they look right in with a shotgun. Quirks with the wrong gun out. Now here comes Maddox up the stairs. A big trade from Crypt and Extra. No, but Maddox hits the bandit. They know where he is. Gonna hold a crossfire. The bandit jumps out, getting aggressive. And now you put yourself in a 1v1. Milite has to go against Maddox. Low health, no diffuser. Facing an MP5, it seems unwinnable. The yellow pings, the last remaining drone could be the decision maker. And Milite now on low health, and Maddox wins. Wisconsin-Madison has it fly out of their grasp. Kentucky up 5-0. They can do no wrong.
Oh my lord, Maddox is locked. Oh my gosh. In all honesty, though, let's be honest. I'm gonna calm it down for a second. If you're University of Madison, Wisconsin-Madison. Sorry, I had it backwards. Is it timeout time? I feel like it probably is. But yeah.
I feel like it should have been 4 rounds ago.
Yeah, honestly. You're kind of not wrong. No way, though. That's insane. I can't believe they just lost that, to be completely honest with you. That is... Wow. I don't really have too much else to say. I mean, Maddox, we've said it multiple times already. He told us he was locked, and it seems as though he's definitely proving that point right now.
Yeah, that one... I mean, obviously, in this situation, right, if you're Wisconsin-Madison, the game seems pretty out of hand. You're probably not expecting to win this one. Obviously, you still want to. It's never over till it's over, but that round
Not yet.
just has to be demoralizing. You have him pinched in a hallway in a 2v1. You know he's half health. The bandit gets aggressive and peeks for, quite honestly, no reason. He doesn't have diffuser. He has to leave that hallway. And they destroyed 9 drones. The one drone they didn't destroy was looking straight at Doc, pinging him the entire time. Can't get more unfortunate. It just slips from out between their fingers. If there's a silver lining, though, if there's anything, it was a better round. It was honestly a pretty good round until, honestly, I think just mental mistakes in the last 15 seconds of that round tear it apart for him. They can still get one round here. They're bringing out a Clash. That's how you know desperation setting in here. Clash normally viewed as a pretty toxic op, but you know, not too many options left at this point. And for Kentucky, they want to take the perfect half. It's hard to do on defense. It is nearly impossible on offense.
By the way, have we checked Koo's PC yet? I know I've got the jokester in my ear, but Koo has been going off so insanely that you gotta think it's time to check his PC, right? Check him PC, as they used to say. Yeah, I mean, going absolutely nuts, and now LaHaye is on the Ash instead of Koo. They kind of swapped operators. I know Quirks was playing a little bit of this heavy, but maybe it was just a site preference type thing. LaHaye has been moving like an absolute but he definitely proved his worth last round, and he might end up doing it again here. Kisser gets the opening kill onto Crypt, who got his first last round. Fun fact. I'm just now noticing that as well. And it seems as though Extra might be on somebody? I think he was, but now he's not.
No, there's one inside the lobby. This is an interesting defense here from Wisconsin-Madison. Uh-oh, Clash is gonna get swung now. Dokebi with the EMP disables that taser. Works is at the start, but here comes a player from Logi, but Clab gets a kill onto Q. Kitty Kisser falls though. LaHaye in from a flank, in from that main bedroom. Now they're gonna be able to push Extra back down the stairs, but it's a successful round. You get Crypt, you get Q, and you get picked from the back. Quirks in the bathroom. Hitting the shots. One smoke out. Still have 2 left in pocket from Clab. Using the second quickly as well, though. Using a lot of utility to stop this potential rush. It has to be pointed out, there is 0 hard breach from the attack. They are going to have to walk into the main door here. Wisconsin-Madison, there has not been a more important time to start winning those gunfights. It needs to be right now. They have some good guns, MP5 and TCSG in pocket, as well as the SMG-11. Taking away Banshee, and the Kai does not see the Bravo drone. They're actually going to switch. They're going to try to pinch blue here with 20 seconds left.
now.
The smoke grenade. Oh, no.
No way. Is it the
They
round?
were doing so good.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
We're still
I
on
thought
18
LaHaye was-
seconds. It's not a
was
lobby
blocked.
crash. We're
thought LaHaye was
saying, more
blocked.
importantly, Wisconsin-Madison has their best chance to steal away. Defending round. TCSG ringing out. Not going to land the shots, though. Quirks walking
Ooh,
in.
LaHaye
Not
still
able
wins
down
that.
one. LaHaye is a beast. And Maddox gets a second. It's all on
What?
Clab, and it's all over. Kentucky sweeps the offense. And now Kentucky Esports needs 1 round left to seal themselves a Week 5 victory.
LaHaye. It came down to LaHaye winning that gunfight. How did he win that? I don't know. He is gunning this whole team. They're on one. They're proving it right here, right now. This is going to be a team to watch. I will go out on a limb and say Kansas and Kettering both would not have stood a chance. Those are the only 2 teams that I've seen so far here in Midwest. Only 2 teams I've had a chance to call, watch, up close. University of Kentucky Blue, they're on another planet. Floating, as Bolo's former teammate Kobe Lax would say. Absolute insanity coming out of the side of UK Blue. I mean, it came down to him winning that gunfight and then Maddox getting the double there to seal it. Maddox was in the right place at the right time. The defenders were a little bit more focused on the fact that their teammate had actually, for some reason, some way, somehow just lost that gunfight on the shield in the corner of the room. There's not much else you can say, man. They're locked in. They're proving that they are going to be a team to deal with down the board here as they get ready to defend. It's going to be a basement defense from the first defense that we have seen here on Club of Kentucky Blue.
I'd also like to point out, Quirks has locked himself in the dirt tunnel.
All
There's
that,
a
yeah.
Goyo can over the door, cannot get back inside without losing a lot of health. Q on the dot, going for the spawn peaks. Gonna have to fall off without getting one in Kentucky. If I was them, I wouldn't get too confident. I wouldn't get too crazy. I'm trying to 7-0 this. And if you're Wisconsin-Madison at this point, like, there's still a chance, right? You can still come back.
Yep.
You can still have a crazy comeback, get yourselves a win. At this point, you just don't want it to affect the mental. You chalk this up to an off night, things not going your way, whatever you have to
Are you
do.
listening to music?
He might be. I don't know. I listen to music
Look
when I
at
play ranked. I'm
Koo
always
was
listening to
just,
music.
he was vibing back and forth down there in blue. And I also think Quirks might have
Uh-oh.
gotten himself out of dirt. I'm not sure.
Now the Roamer's in trouble here on logistics. Gets back down the
Oh,
stairs
he got
though.
hurt bad.
And the Blitz loses a ton of health. Now stuck in a gunfight with a couple players. Believe LaHaye is going to be the first gun up inside the central stairs. Intervent's low,
Oh,
Clab's low,
LaHaye
Clab's
goes
down. Kitty Kisser gets LaHaye though. The player to watch has just fallen. Extra gets one and
Who
a
is full
teammate.
health now? He
How
got his
about that?
Intervent.
It goes from a 4-on-3 to a 3-on-3 due to friendly fire. That's unfortunate for Wisconsin-Madison. If I'm extra, they're not playing the series. I ask Q for a stim. He might give it to you. I think Q is that cocky right now on 11-4.
Oh, I finally.
Maddox.
That was the first death, actually. Wow.
Sitting at
Unbelievable.
8-0. Hey, luckily though, it doesn't affect the KD. That's the most important part now. The KD stays at 8.
Yeah, Quirks did get himself out of dirt. He's now becoming an important member of this lockdown site defense they're going to try to go for here. A few ace charges coming out from up top, extra. Gonna make sure no one's lurking in the back of church. No one is in church right now, my good man. Quirks is standing on top of a box, and Crypt is doing his best to watch the main hole there in the back of church. He has to have just heard him drop Moto, right? Maybe not. They do know that they do know where Milite is now due to the Legion mine though.
And the gunshots will give it away for sure. Q on the angle. Isabella
Oh
killed
my
the ace.
God!
No, misses the shots, but instead Milite picks up Crypt. What a shot onto the hatch. Are you kidding me from the dock? Q lands it. Quirks gets
It's up to
extra. It is
Milite
all
now.
on Milite. Player to watch. Map 1 has become the most important player in Map 2. Bearing 9 out, bearing 9 shots, missing shots, almost landing onto Quirks in the corner, who is still full health. Limited bullets, limited chances.
and fall.
Milite just has to drop Moto
to
gets the
Q
diffuser
here.
back, gets
Oh!
the kill back on a Q. 12-5 for the dock. 1
plant.
HP and a dream
gotta
from
go,
Habana.
Quirks.
Quirks rushing down the stairs. Quirks is going to see them.
You see his,
breach.
you see his
Looks
butt.
the wrong way. Are you kidding? Doesn't see the attacker. The perfect dream going up in smoke. But Quirks now one shot from the
He's
pistol
gonna
will do it.
repeat
TCSG in pocket. Has to pre-fire the Habana. They are right by each other. Who will get the kill?
He can't win this swing.
You can't make
He
this up.
couldn't
3
win that.
bullets in a barrel, and 3 bullets is enough. Wisconsin-Madison will not be shut out. How about that? Milite getting it done here. Maybe grabbing some momentum back, but that would be a long shot.
Wow, long shot indeed. But hey, they wanted to make it what I like to call a gentleman's sweep. They wanted to make sure that at the very least they didn't go out 7-0. And honestly, the guns were flying. Even though they just won that round right there, in my personal opinion, they lost it. Because look at the kills that they got. They gave up some of the easiest kills of the night during that round. And they won it strictly based off the fact that Goyo just didn't see his butt sticking out while he was planting. Like, I guess I could say that I did, but maybe it was because I had the outlines on. I'm not sure.
I feel like you would have known, though.
Maybe
even
he
without
did.
the outline.
I'm not sure. I would have thought that, right? You would have thought. But either way, he swings incorrectly. He allows him to get in a good position to win them the round, and they have now won their first round in the long road to a hopeful comeback for UW-Madison. But they're going to have to do a lot because that defense was actually very stout. And from University of Kentucky Blue, they only have to win one defense now to end out our night.
Yeah, they do. And for Kentucky, I mean, you want to get it done quickly. We talked about it, like at the very start of the set, hour and a half ago, the round differential being the only thing separating these top teams. You got +5 on the first map. If you can end it here, you got +6. You were, I think, 5 below. If you can vault to 6 rounds over even, that's good. That puts you up into second place. Kentucky can make the swing all the way from 6th to 2nd if they're able to win. Honestly, just in the next probably 4 rounds, they'll be able to do that if my math is correct. And it looks like we're going to have a top 4 sight from the defenders. They're going back to gym bedroom, still not favoring that CCTV. See what happens here. Oh, and there you go. The first blood on Wisconsin-Madison. That's not what you want to start. Maddox now up to 9-1. Been on a rampage in map 2.
He has. He absolutely has. He now has the second highest amount of kills on his team, besides the one and only Koo himself. It's now a uphill battle without Clab on the board because Clab was very important, even though they lost 7-2 on that first map. If you're just joining us, Clab was important on that last map, but do they know is a good question. Milite is in the site, or at least not the site. He's in CC over there. Yeah, but 2 of them are in CC. Intervent's over there with them too.
I don't think they know at all. I think Quirks is here entirely undetected.
He might
Milite,
get him
though,
here too.
Gets
Look at
Maddox.
oh!
Milite looking the right
did
way.
swing
Now
him.
Gridlock can't swing quick enough to get the kill back. Doesn't have frag grenades either, so can't grenade Quirks out of that spot. Now going to be able to rotate back to site though. Gorgeous play under the hatch. Kitty Kisser loses a lot of HP to, I believe, Q on the Jaeger.
That's a great angle.
It is interesting positions here. Grim sees LaHaye. They know they're playing on that main staircase. Logi seems to be the focus here as all members have gotten into construction. One gonna swing at the same time as Warden and gonna get the kill. Looks away at the wrong time. LaHaye falling. Extra getting 1. Wisconsin-Madison.
Oh, he won
on
that.
The gas. But Quirks with a pixel manages to pick up Extra. Gonna swing the second. It's Kitty Kisser.
Oh my
They're both low,
lord.
but only one is dead. Quirks with a triple. Soon to be a quadra. Intervent pushing up without much of a hope. But Quirks not playing the mirror, gonna have to blind swing this, and will do so. Intervent aiming low. Quirks is standing up, still so low HP though. 1 bullet should do it, but Quirks is gonna deploy a goo mine and fall off the angle. Q's here. They know they're locked in Logi. Wisconsin-Madison has to hope they land the most insane shots in R6 history here.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah, Kentucky's looking to close it out. 27 seconds, not nearly enough time for 3 different kills. Does have the diffuser though. Trying to at least put their first kill of the game up here. Gonna sprint over to A. They're gonna hear it. They might swing at Quirks. Just right here, will get the last kill. Ends it with a quadra. Kentucky wins 7-2, 7-1. And how about that for Kentucky esports to get back up those rankings? You can't end it better if you're a Kentucky fan.
Yeah, I mean, second place. That puts them in second. I'm not quite sure if that puts them in first or not. I didn't necessarily get a chance to take a look.
I think
but
Muskingum is 4-0 and 36 rounds above even.
Okay, never mind. So they are really good. But see, it's the same thing that I was saying last week about Kansas kind of putting their name on the map last week over that in that dominant 3-map victory over Kettering. University of Kentucky Blue just put their name on the map right then in a crazy dominant sort of way. I mean, you wouldn't have expected it from two teams that look so similar on paper through our statistics, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, they just absolutely flew through them. We're getting out of here quick tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But I believe, do we have an interview as well this week? Okay, perfect. So we will be giving you guys a quick interview with Crypt. I believe it's after this break, isn't it? We're going to take a slight break. When we come back, we will have Crypt here on the screen with us. We'll be asking him some questions in a post-game interview. Stick around for that. University of Kentucky Blue ends up beating University of Madison, Wisconsin-Madison, 7-2 on the first map and 7-1 on the second map.
Them stink like my money. By the way, I don't want you no knife. I only want you the river.
will obviously come from me. Going into map 2, it was you guys' map, Clubhouse, and the way that you guys won it 7-1 was so crazy. I'm not going to ask you to give anything away, but what was the team thinking going into map 2 after you guys had won map 1 the way that you guys did?
After map 1, we were definitely like high on our heads. Like we knew that no matter what, like we were definitely going to win our map. We were going into our Clubhouse, which is one of our best maps. We picked it, and after that Consulate game, we knew that as long as we kept doing what we did in Consulate, like there was nothing to worry about, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you guys' attacks were gunning on both maps. Fisher, my partner in crime here, has got a few for you. Then I'll circle back.
All right.
Yeah, obviously, just gonna like kind of segue off how strong your guys' attacks were. We saw a few of your defensive rounds on Consulate. I think we were really impressed. You guys definitely seem like a solid defensive team. Your attacks blew it out of the water.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I gotta ask, do y'all like kind of find yourselves as an attacking sided team? Because I believe you were 9-0 today, which is unheard of.
Yeah, most of the time we actually feel a lot more comfortable on attack than defense for some reason.
I can tell.
Most of our defenses are good on a lot of our maps, but it's just whenever it comes to attack, we always just feel ourselves and we always just go in, trusting each other, and always works out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that you trust each other on the attacks. There were some insane attacking runs in there.
Yeah,
That record
yeah.
spotless. And then, of course, my other question, we talked a little bit about the standings for Division 2. Before tonight, 6-way tie at 2-2. Obviously, an extremely important one to kind of get yourselves into the upper half. Does that change your preparation? Does that change how you approach the game tonight? Or kind of just another week, just taking care of business?
It definitely changed the way because we knew that this was a game that we needed to win in order to finish out the season strong. You know, it's been back and forth with win, lose, and we just needed to win out, and we knew that. So we really threw everything we had today to make sure that we got the win, get that momentum, and definitely bring that into next week.
Yeah, Crypt, I mean, you guys are definitely rolling off some momentum here. And one more quick little funny one before we let you speak a little bit and get out of here. You were telling me just a minute ago during the break that usually it's more of a we kind of play at our own setups, and sometimes we'll head down to the Kentucky Blue Lounge. How did it feel knowing that Maddox and Koo, two players who went absolutely insane, especially on map 2, how did it feel knowing that they were in the lounge vibing out and you guys were kind of locked in, the rest of the team at least, into your usual setups?
Yeah, it's kind of hoping we try to get everybody at the lounge sometimes, and try to get games together, whether it's a scrim or even game day. We try to get in the lounge. Just it's kind of difficult for some of us to make the trip there, make the time. Definitely wish we could all be in the lounge for this game today. Definitely had some fun. Kind of wish we were all together for that, but we still won it. Still had a good time.
Yeah, you guys are riding high right now off that victory. But really quickly before we go, Maddox is or not Maddox. I'm sorry, he was on my mind. Crypt. I will let you speak really quickly. Anything that you would like to plug, any teammates or family members, anything like that you'd like to shout out. Literally anything that you want to say. Not specific to any questions that we have. The floor is yours here at the very end of it.
I just want to say shout out my team. Every week it's always a pleasure to play with them. No matter we win or lose, always have a great time playing with them. Shout out our coaches, Bev and Paladin. Always pushing us to do better, always helping us out. So really big thanks to everybody involved in our team.
Yeah, man, you guys are gunning. You're proving why you guys are number 2 right now. But yeah, that for MWR6 at least will do it for another week here. University of Kentucky Blue Crypt, thank you so much for joining us here in the post-game interview. Yeah, they dominated. If you missed it, 7-2 first map, 7-1 second map, absolute domination. They really showed why they are now, as far as I know, number 2 in the standings. Want to really quickly talk about the Midwest YouTube channel, the TikTok, the Twitter. Go ahead, follow us there to stay up on any kind of stats that you might have missed out from this week if you're just joining us. We've got Crypt here. I'm sure a few highlights from this game at the very least will be going up on something like that, especially with how crazy those 2 maps were at the very least. So, ladies and gentlemen, from myself, my partner in crime, Fisher here, Crypt and the entire University of Kentucky Blue team, we want to thank you for joining us for another week here in Midwest R6. We'll see you right back here on Thursday evening.